Hello, Mr. Laser, Mrs. Leong, and Miss Fleming, and all you students out there. My name is Nathan Coleman, and I'm the weather reporter here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And we have some nice weather here right now, but I'm here to talk to you about my experience in Iqaluit. I was asked to go up there to interview a man who took a picture of a rare weather phenomenon known as a sundog. That's when you see the sun and it's so cold. There are ice crystals in the air and you can see the edge of two rainbows on each side. So you'll see a story about that. It was very interesting to go up there. Basically, the flight for me, I flew 2 hours to the capital of Canada, Ottawa, from Halifax, and then it was a 4-hour flight to get to Iqaluit. Now, Iqaluit is an amazing place. The first thing I noticed, there were some pretty amazing sculptures everywhere. It is home to the Inuit people, and I interviewed an elder in the community to ask him about traditional forecasting. Sculptures lining the streets of Iqaluit help tell the story of Inuit culture and history. Situated on the south coast of Baffin Island, weather has always played a major role in Inuit tradition.
Well, I always go by the elders.
To this day, Iqaluit elders use age-old techniques in forecasting. Thanks to climate change, things are getting more difficult.
I never seen the wind shift so fast in my life. Like, let's say it's north wind, and they say the forecast is going to be south wind. It usually takes the whole day to relax the wind, and then it's not like that no more. It's like wind stops, 10 minutes later, wow, wind starts again.
Elder Akishu Jomi has lived in Iqaluit his whole life. He says traditional forecasting is being pushed aside in favor of more modern techniques. Winds that change ever so quickly make predictions even more difficult. Iqaluit is situated in the Everett Mountains, rising from the Kujusi Inlet. For the Weather Network, I'm Nathan Coleman. Now, Iqaluit has very long winters, and that means many people use snowmobiles as their main form of transportation. And they pull behind a sled with all of their belongings. I wanted to learn more about these sleds, so here's a story about that. It's one of the only places in Canada where you'll find a dog sled crossing sign. While the dog teams are still prevalent in Iqaluit, the skidoo or snow machine has taken over as the main form of transportation. With 8 months of wintry weather, it can take you a lot further than most vehicles. If you have a skidoo up here, you probably have a Comatic as well. I'm seeing them everywhere. They're dragged behind the skidoos if you're out on a hunting trip, or maybe you're just bringing your family along. They're great for pulling the supplies behind. They need to be extremely agile because, of course, you're going in and around the Frobisher Bay, and when the ice is melting, the conditions can be quite rough. So you'll notice there aren't any nails. The nails would crack, so many of the pieces of wood are just roped down.
Gotta have a design like that because there's some soft snow, there's some hard snow, and different kind of snows we have, and some rough. In front one has to be designed it nicely, not to hit the big bump there, like rock or something like that. You have to go over.
It is important to travel in groups when you're headed out onto the bay, especially when the ice is melting.
You can't do it alone. You gotta have other guys travel with you, and they help each other. And sometimes to take one machine off and put a long rope, and tie on to the other one and pull it up.
Iqaluit is the only Canadian capital that's not connected to any other towns by a highway. For the Weather Network, I'm Nathan Coleman in Iqaluit. Iqaluit is located on the Frobisher Bay, and goods come in and out during the summer months on big ships, but during the winter this bay is frozen, so the only way to get anything in and out is by airplane. Now, Iqaluit, the ground is covered in permafrost. That means nothing can grow there. You can't have a garden. So that means you have to ship all the fruits and vegetables up from the south. Well, I ran into a group of people who are trying to grow things in a greenhouse in Iqaluit. Here's that story. Over in Nunavut, Iqaluit is the only Canadian capital with no highway leading to or from another settlement. When the Frobisher Bay is frozen, everything runs through the airport. All fruits and vegetables here in Iqaluit have to be shipped in by airplane, which makes them quite expensive and not always the best quality. This community greenhouse opened in 2007 and grows everything from lettuce and peas to tomatoes and strawberries. The crop is split amongst members, and a share is also taken out for the community.
Trying to make a bit of a dent in food security in the north through education more so than through what we actually grow.
There's always a steady flow of tours.
Especially for kids who might not have ever seen plants grow before or vegetables, it's great for them to come in and see how the kale is growing and the carrots and try it for themselves.
The greenhouse operates from mid-June to end of September when the frost hits. They typically grow 75 kilos per year. Nutrition North does subsidize pricing for fresh goods at the grocery store, but Layden says that doesn't help the quality.
It's shipped up from the south. It's still 20 degrees Celsius in the south. Comes up here, sits on the ramp between airplanes. It freezes. They bring it inside. It thaws. Then they put it in a truck again to deliver it to the grocery store. It freezes again, thaws again when they put it on the shelf.
Permafrost prevents houses from having basements, let alone outdoor gardens. For the Weather Network, I'm Nathan Coleman in Iqaluit. Another thing I'll mention, when I was up there, it started getting late, but the sun didn't go down. Well, I'm out here in Iqaluit, and this is one of the things I was most excited about in coming up here in June, is seeing how bright it was late at night. Right now, as I'm filming this, it is currently 10 to 12, so it's almost midnight. As you can see, it's not bright and sunny. If you're driving down the road, you do need to have your lights on, but at the same time, it's not dark. You need to have very thick curtains here in Iqaluit, otherwise you may not get to sleep. Now in the winter months, it's the opposite problem. It stays dark throughout the day, but for now I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying being out here. It's almost midnight, but you can still see clearly in front of you. Well, I was only up in Iqaluit for a short period of time, but it was an amazing journey, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. If you get the chance, you should really try and visit there. I hope you enjoyed my stories and have a great day at school.